Greatest 2 days of auction I've ever seen. I'm Gav the Bastard, that's auction whore, and we have Bikram. He's hiding, he'll come. Don't worry, he'll come. He's better than Arjun Tendulkar. If he had put his name in the auction, he would have sold for more money. But I liked how Gujarat Titan just fucked with Mumbai because everybody knows no matter what you say, Arjun Tendulkar is not worth it. The only reason the guy is there because he's Tendulkar's son. So we knew the moment Hugh, by the way, Hugh came back after he had this massive fall and his situation. He came back to the final round, the final round of the final round. And then the moment he says his name, without even waiting for a split second, Mumbai Indians like, yeah, the fatty, the earlier fatty now who lost weight, again starting to become fatty, the son, raise the paddle, whatever you call that damn thing, goes for 20. Then Gujarat Titan, they just mess with them. It's like, okay, they also raised it. It's like 25. Then they just the Mumbai Indians are laughing. And they're like, "You're just messing with us, and don't you, aren't you? Because you know you don't want him." And then they had to go for 30. So now Arjun Tendulkar is going to go sit down for 30 and do jack nothing. All right, that's not the big news. Big news is something which is probably not. This is the end of the career, end of the road for Suresh Raina, who was supposed to be the greatest IPL player. At least in his mind, he was. But once you've seen his paunch while he's showering, I don't know why he's doing his shower when he's showering. But let's start with the first team that we have. A lot of teams are saying they've had really good auction. RCB has done sort of similar what they do all the time, but at the same time they've also done something interesting and good also. Now, if you see their entire chart, they've not bought 25 players. I think they bought 22. I can't see the total number. I'll have to count directly, but I think I'm comparing to the other sheet. They've bought 22. How do you think their auction went? And please, we already talked about Hasaranga yesterday, but
22,
just
yeah.
because there's so much to talk about, just pick the best ones that you feel and that the best ones you want to talk about. Okay, we'll start with you because you missed out yesterday's podcast, which was 1 hour long. And what is your view on this thing, BK?
So I think overall, if you ask me, I think it's been interesting because none of the teams inspire like a confidence in me that this is the great team, like this is going to be like the
Oh no,
favorites.
we are going team
Yeah,
wise. Sorry if I was
yeah,
not clear. I was saying we're starting with Royal Challenge
yeah,
Bangalore. I was saying overall,
yeah.
I already
So
said like I think they
yeah,
look mixed bag because they fuck up a lot, but they
they do.
fucked up as well. So you can just pick up on few names like for us like
So I think
that.
yeah.
Hasaranga was the main thing. David Wiley bought very at the late, I think very last minute for 2 crores. And who do you think is a good buy, bad buy? Dinesh Karthik is there for 5.5.
I think, yeah, I think I was listening to yesterday's pod that you guys did. I think Hasaranga is clearly a surprise at that price, 10 crores. I think he's more of a bowler than a all rounder as he's been projected. But yeah, it'll be interesting how it plays out and which of the four overseas guys they pick because I think Faf is a good
Is he going
buy.
to be the captain? Do you think he's going to be the captain? Because we
That
think he's going to be the
I think
captain.
I mean Maxwell probably I don't know whether he has ever captained for his state teams in Australia or maybe his BBL team, but
Let me just say who you will
it was
pick. Yeah.
I would pick Maxwell just based on like last year he was one of the best players and now Kohli,
Mhm.
AB is not there. Kohli doesn't want to captain, so for me the natural choice is Maxwell. But since he does not have a good, I mean, any track record to like speak of captaincy, that just throws everything is back in the mix and on the table. But yeah, it'll be between him and Faf. So yeah, but I would still think Maxwell is sure shot going to play all the games. Faf, depending on the combination player, like team balance and all, may or may not play all the games. So if you make him captain, then he has to play all the games. So that one overseas slot is booked
All right, fair enough.
for you. So
See, for me,
yeah.
Faf should play all the games. That is already decided on my end. So, I mean, who's making all these noises? So, Bikram, are you going to speak on RCB or should I give you a different team? Or you
No,
can
I'll
speak something
speak.
on them, then you can. Not the
No,
best
yeah,
team.
I think
Here's your
yesterday,
certificate.
yeah, so I think yesterday when we were talking about Hasanga, and I think we all felt, and I think everyone felt that he went for too much. But just going through the auction, a lot of players have been paid a lot of money, and this is the problem with auction. Like some people will get amazing amount of money, and some people will just be end up with peanuts compared to others. So that always happens, and I think RCB had made up their mind to have all-rounder spinner. I mean, as BK said, I don't think he's a proper all-rounder, but he's better than Chahal in batting. And he has been bowling well. I think I don't know whether you saw there was a Sri Lanka and Australia match today, also T20 match, which
Hmm.
went to
Who won
super over.
eventually? Went one tied or something. It was crazy.
Yeah, it went to super over. So yeah, I actually like Hasaranga. Obviously not,
Okay, Australia
and
won.
I don't want to be stuck up with Hasaranga, but I think they definitely want to make Faf the captain, and but I don't understand, like, they even if they make Faf captain, that's not a long-term prospect, right? You still have to groom someone to become the captain,
Hmm.
and they have let go of Pardikal, they have let go of Sundar. So who are they planning to make their future captain? So that's I don't understand what is happening there. And it's kind of decent squad, I would say. Uh, yeah, but it just feel that they could have retained someone who they could have groomed to become the captain. Right now, it just feels like, half of the team is almost done, will be almost done in 2, 3 years, and then there'll be others, because this is a mega auction, right? Whatever players are getting bought, they'll be there for long period, unless obviously the team releases them. And that's why we saw Mumbai Indians actually buying Jofra Archer, even though he will be injured this season. So it just feels like very short-sighted kind of selection, unless they have some. I mean, they have picked a couple of youngsters. I don't know whether they will give them chances, because we have seen this with RCB. They buy a lot of youngsters, but they never play them. They are always warming the benches, and they are then released. And some other teams, like today, this guy, who was that guy who was in RCB, got bought for
Hmm.
eight crores. So yeah, that just a lot of uncertainty on RCB's selection.
All right, fair enough. But one thing is for sure that this guy they bought Lormore, and Lormore will be playing because he's an all-rounder and he's Indian, and they need to play him. And everybody's talking about now that they bought this guy, he needs to perform. And if he doesn't perform, because unlike they have none of the other players have ever performed in batting, so this guy needs to like come out of his shackles, and somebody needs to like become a big batter, a hitter,
And
whatever. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
I just want to say, on paper, actually, that the team looks good. If you see, they have depth in batting now. They have with Faf, and Kohli, and Maxwell, and DK. I mean, I think DK can perform well if he's not given any kind of responsibility. And then bowling wise, also they have good players. They bought Harshal Patel back also. So I mean, it's balanced, but I just feel that they have not thought about the future. That's my take on that.
Nobody thinks about the future. Let's not talk about the future. Future is not really important. Future hasn't even come. Let's not pee on today. That's what they said in Rangde Basanti. So we follow that. So KKR. Now KKR did a lot of business. They bought all 25 players and they were left with 45 lakhs, which they're obviously transferring into our bank accounts. Everybody whosoever they left with, they'll be transferred to Blunt Bastard's account, as they have said. Now they have bought a great player. So let's talk about him. Ajinkya Rahane. They paid him flat 100. That was 1 crores.
Yeah.
Sam Billing was a good
Maybe
buy.
I'll
Umesh
get
Yadav also they
my
bought for 2 crores.
salary.
Oh, it's just been amazing. Yeah, it's been completely amazing. Uh, Amazing by they bought weird players like Aman Khan, Ramesh Kumar, Ashok Sharma, Rashik Salam. He's like, who, who are these? Baba, Inderjeet. Baba is like, I thought like
Oh,
my Baba
Baba
got
is.
bought here. Yeah.
Oh, Baba, you don't know about Baba. He was the main guy in the under 19 World Cup final. He took 5 wickets and scored
Last
50
year,
runs.
last World Cup, I think. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
year,
that's the guy who's gonna
this World Cup.
that's the guy gonna win them the tournament, right? IPL. Baba. That's why they're gonna bond for Baba. So please talk about Jinx and anybody else that you want to talk about. We already talked about Nitish Rana. We're going for eight crores, which is just absolutely ridiculous. The only person who was happy was Nitish Rana after that fucking thing happened.
I think
And it was crazy.
one
And the
good
share
thing
side
is,
we already talked about, which you already predicted because
yeah.
you wanted share side to go for a lot of money, but which is expected. But I was hoping nobody will be that stupid. But yeah, I'm stupid.
No, I think Shreyas Iyer is a good buy. How much money? I mean, that sometimes you can't control in an auction. Sometimes like two teams are going after and the price gets jacked up. I'm sure they didn't say, okay, let's give him 16 crores, but it's a good buy overall. I think I was expecting one of the two new teams to like get Shreyas Iyer early out and take him out of the auction. But anyways, since he's gone, I
But they
think
already have
he may
captain,
also.
right? The new teams already have the captains. That's why probably they were not really that aggressive about it.
Probably,
Yeah, go on.
probably. So maybe KKR is looking at captaincy options, I guess, in the future. So I think a year, forget about if we just ignore the price for a minute. I think it's a good buy for KKR. They always had this wobbly middle order, batting. So I think this will give them some solidity. I like the fact that they've gotten Nabi as a spinner. I think Kolkata traditionally,
One CR.
the pitches
Amazing.
are, yeah, that's a good buy. I would qualify him as an all rounder because he scores useful runs at times, and he's a very very decent. He's like an underrated bowler. I know he looks like a simple off spinner, but he's a very intelligent cricketer. So I think, and this Ajinkya Rahane is just perplexed me. I don't know
They were
why
running
they've.
out of. They just wanted somebody. They were just. They were running out of everything. So they just wanted
Yeah,
somebody to
I
be
mean,
there.
yeah, it's like just okay. I have no option. Let me just pick you. But yeah, that's a strange move if you ask me. But I like their overseas signing. I like Saudi. I like Hales. I like Billings to complement already
Oh
like
yeah,
Cummins. Yeah,
I think nobody will notice this thing, but the fact is that if Owen Morgan was there, Alex Hale couldn't have been bought. This situation is much worse than Ashwin and Josh Butler's situation. Okay, because Alex Hale's been like frozen out of English team after that drug event that happened, and he has performed well, but Owen Morgan just totally refused to take him. But now Owen Morgan is out and Alex Hale is in. So Alex Hale is like must be putting out TikTok videos. Yeah, I have the last laugh, motherfuckers. So Jinke Rane will be opening with Alex Hales, and they will make first in the very first match 200 runs. Bikram still thinks Shreyas Iyer is going to be the captain. I think it's not the right choice. Although it looks like it's going to be him. The logic I'm hearing from other people is that Pat Cummins is not going to be the captain because he might not be even be available, and that's the
correct.
logic. And also Shreyas Iyer is Indian. That's the same with English people keep saying we want English. So Vikram, so because of lack of time, unless you have very something important to say, we can just talk about it. CSK is very angry. We haven't even said anything about CSK yet. Come back later.
Yeah,
Why Raina unsold? I
why
don't
is
have any
Raina?
money. I would have bought him. I would have bought him because my housemate has been missing. He could have come
CSK.
done the maid stuff.
I think Raina had a
He's
good fan base in the CSK team. Like Dhoni was Thala and Raina was like the deputy Thala, whatever the proper name is.
Chinnathala.
He was a very popular Chinna Thala,
China
yeah,
Thala.
Chinna Thala. So I think I'm surprised that why didn't CSK just threw him a bone like, okay, once CR, come back to our team.
No, I think it's
Us.
He
all.
put his price at 2 CR. He thinks he's the big shit.
No, no, I think it's all. It all goes back to the incident which happened last year, the balcony incident, and
Yeah.
that kind of sowed the because it doesn't make any sense. CSK had the money, CSK had the slots, they bought a lot
Yeah,
of
they left with 2.95. That's the exact money he needed.
So I think it just because these things people don't forget, right? And although
I don't
he
know what
was
happened.
a
I don't even know, by the way. Please regale me. Entertain me. I don't know what happened. I only know he left from the IPL in 2020. I don't know what happened
left
last
from yeah, he left from IPL because he said he had some family emergency, but then the
year. Yeah,
news
but
came
that they
out that
still
he
threw
was
him the bone, right? An 11 crore bone for not fucking playing.
yeah, that
You know
was
what happened
there.
last year?
I don't
Was he
know.
upset once he
I
was
don't know.
dropped?
Yeah, no, he was played. He actually, but see, that's the thing. There's a combination of things because one,
I don't
he
know
had
what the
that.
balcony thing you're saying. I don't know. Like, is some incident on the balcony? What happened to the
The
balcony?
balcony thing is that's the news came out that why he left was because he wanted a balcony room in the
Oh,
hotel.
okay. Got it. Yeah, yeah, that is actually true because he
Yeah,
thinks of himself as the big shot, right? Now that happened. He just got big
so
shot. Obviously, some people are
he
still
was.
upset with giving us
I mean, he
hearts.
right.
I'm pretty sure it's Rishana's wife who is texting and the kids.
So yeah, that's I mean it's apparent because even though after that incident, Chennai played him, he played some matches, and he looked
Because
out
of
of sort,
saliva.
right?
Because
Yeah,
he
he
cried,
looked out
saliva.
of
He was like saliva. And his saliva was on his feet. On saliva, my saliva. Yeah, by the way, if your hair is going to constantly distract me for the entire hour of this podcast, I don't know what your hair is doing, but they seem to
Yeah,
be
I don't
like
know.
flying
This
high. It's
this
just like,
this
it just,
becomes
yeah,
Archie like. It
yeah,
doesn't.
Archie like, and it's just making me reminding you of like the 60s rock and roll stars, the
Yeah. So
biggest of them, Elvis Presley's and all. Yeah, it just
it's
very
it's
interesting.
unintentional. Oh, nice.
No problem. So
So
if you're, yeah, do you want
yeah,
to, yeah,
about KKR. So
yeah, go on,
about
please.
so about KKR, in my opinion, this is the second worst IPL team which have been selected in this IPL. I'll tell you who is the first.
Later on, tell us the worst.
So yeah, if anyone is listening, just hold on. I'll tell you which is the worst team in my opinion,
All right.
and
So,
and
yeah, go on.
it just feels very, like there was no planning or anything. They just bought players and uh, yeah, they bought international
Throwing shit
signings
in the
and
air, whatever sticks on the wall. Just keep throwing till something sticks.
and at one point they were going
They were
for
ready to buy Pujara. Is that what you're about to say? They were so desperate. They were like,
they
Pujara, we'll take you.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't understand. I don't understand. They spend so much money by retaining these people, and then I mean, that is fine, but it just feels like they're very, like every team has heavyweights. I don't see any heavyweight in this team. There are good players, but they are not someone, someone like, let's say Maxwell is there for RCB. Then there is Rahul is there. I know his heavyweight is he scores runs. So,
they could have
but
bought Saurav Tiwari. He's the heavyweight. He's definitely very heavyweight. Nobody bought him. He's definitely the
So
heavyweight.
it feels they lack a lot of marquee players. There are a lot of new players. There are a lot of unknown players. So I don't know. I'm not that keen of a follower of all these domestic players. So
Hmm.
there
We need
there
to call
might be
Mr.
some.
Nags.
But on the paper, in my opinion, it feels like this is the second weakest team of this auction.
All right. So because we were getting comments on CSK, so next team on the list was Punjab Kings. But let's talk about CSK right now. And CSK had left, which we already talked about. They still did not buy. They did not throw a bone. They did not throw anything towards Suresh Rana. And because once they gave up on him, nobody touched him. People didn't even ask for him ever. I actually somehow part of me thought that I'm actually being like, I was too close to it, and I just there's a lot of personal dislike for this person because he doesn't take care of his fitness. He thinks he's the big shot. I just hate these kind of people. Just because you have a lot of talent, you need to work hard. I've seen him in giving interviews and talking shit about Virat Kohli and his yo-yo test. The Bikram knows that I passed the yo-yo test. Fucking hell, man. At age 40, I passed the fucking yo-yo test, and he was complaining of his yo-yo test at fucking 30 years old. So that is telling. And I'm not an athlete. I sit on a fucking desk and do my job. Okay. Now CSK, I think we cannot say it's a bad team at all, because what they try to do first is try to buy everybody they can buy. Obviously, they could not. They had to let go Shardul Thakur. They had to let go Fatu Plessis, but they got whoever they can get back, and they still got Robin Uthappa for 2 crores, which is definitely a good buy. Mitchell Santner, they got a spinner also for like 1.9. Dane Bravo, they've gotten back. And the interesting thing is the guy. Remember, Vikram, we when we started our podcast in the year 2000, the first time when we were doing IPL, the guy we trolled the most, and it was not even it was not Ajinkya Rane. It was not this guy. We just been trolling so much. It was Tushar Deshpande, and he's back, and they bought
Yeah,
him for 20 lakhs. It's been interesting. And overall, it's, I think at the end they just try to buy a lot of people whosoever they can just fit in the team. And the way they have been working, they're very judicious. So what do you think about the team right now and all the players they eventually bought back? We talked about it yesterday already, but today they've gotten a lot of names which I don't know much about and kind of a little bit difficult to pronounce also. Anybody stands out? Anything you want to talk about CSK apart from already what we talked about yesterday? Adam Milne is a definitely good buy, and Mitchell Stanton.
I think CSK, I mean, kudos to them. They always manage to do a reasonably good job. They're always above average. You will never see like, what the hell, like, this is a shit team or they did something bad. They always punch, right there or thereabouts, like, which is above their weight. But I think it's a reasonably good team. What I do like is they lost this guy Faf. They've replaced with Devon Conway for only 1 point. I think 1 CR or something. Devon Conway, I think is going to be
Yes.
come
Yes,
is
1 crore.
yeah is 1 CR. So that's a really good buy. He's one of New Zealand's best. Like in the last 12 months, I think he's one of the best all format cricketers for New Zealand. So that's amazing business, if you ask me. That really stands out for me. And I think the one thing they didn't do is like replace Shardul Thakur properly, but I think they have done partly. I think they have this guy Shivam Dubey, who they might think might do a better job than Shardul Thakur. I'm not too sure about it, but they do have like overseas all rounders to do what Shardul Thakur used to do. They have Chris Jordan, who will do that job. They have Dwayne Bravo, who does that job. So that's one of the reasons why they might not be affected too much because of the loss of Shardul Thakur.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm on mute.
I
So,
think
Bikram, do you
I'm
want to add
muted.
something? You
Yeah.
muted. Everybody's muting me. I'm the host. Stop muting me. You have too much power. You are not. You are the molester.
I have not muted it.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
just checking their squad. So just looking at their squad, it just feels like they're again similar to KKR. There are not many heavyweights, but with CSK the thing is always uh, their main strength is stability, and that's what they have gone for. They have tried to buy back all their main players, and whoever they couldn't buy back, they replaced, as BK said, and that's the and I can't actually, say something like, okay, this doesn't look like a good team, because after winning these many titles and after buying players who are not performing so well from other teams, and those players have performed so well even after past when they were past their prime. So it just feels like they have a plan and they stuck to it, even though they were left with some money. They could have gone harder for some of the other players, but it just feels like they have just they had the whatever they wanted, they got it, and they bought all 25 players. I know they filled all their slots. So it's
Still no Raina.
so
Still no Raina.
uh, it just feels like they have bought a lot of unknown players. So it'll be interesting to see how they groom these players. And so yeah, I think it's a decent team. Yeah.
All right. Before I move on to the next team, which is Punjab, I just want to mention right now here that thank God they bought Chris Jordan, because Chris Jordan went unsold earlier. If this guy hadn't been bought in this auction, nobody would have said Chris Jordan. Nobody liked Chris Jordan. People would have said this is racist, because people have already written something about this thing, because some white person in England had criticized Chris Jordan's bowling in the World Cup, which England lost in the semi-finals, and people called it racist. No, maybe that guy doesn't like him. Maybe Chris Jordan wasn't good. No, it's racist. So thank God they bought him. It was not at all racist. I think this is a very woke move by Chennai, which was very interesting because their owners don't look like very woke. Let's talk about the most pretentious team on earth, Punjab Super Kings. To be very fair, not done a bad job, not done a terrible job. Although they bought Shah Rukh Khan for 900,000 bucks, 900 uh, lakhs or whatever that is, and that's I don't know. That's just you either banking on it or hopefully comes good. But a lot of the buys I see, Shikhar Dhawan for 8.25, Kasigo Rabada, this is going to be a good. Liam Livingston, they broke their bank for him. But I think this guy has underperformed. But I just feel if this guy gets going, something really good will happen. I think he can single-handedly win them 2 or 3 matches. Something Chris Gale was doing for them over the last couple of years. The rest of them, Arshdeep was already there. Rahul Chahar is a good buy for 5.25. He's come from a winning mentality, winning team. After Mumbai did not bid for him, so I think it's and Johnny Bairstow for 6.75. I think overall not a bad job. Again, they're not going to do anything good, but in the auction, I thought they were okay.
Yeah, I think they have done decent job. They have a nucleus of 4 or 5 players who, if they fire, they can lift the other 5 6 players to becoming above average players, and they can probably. I mean, I'm not saying they're like a team which can be title contenders, but they've done a decent job. I can see a nucleus of 4 or 5 players who can carry the team forward for a few matches for sure.
Yeah, no, don't
And
worry about the title
yeah,
contender. Kumble will ensure that
yeah,
they're not title contenders. He will ensure his face will be
yeah.
so serious that they
I,
will just
I
always be pissing their pants.
I like the opening combination of Dhawan and Bairstow. I think that's a good combination.
I say
Followed and
fireworks,
and
man,
you know
fireworks.
Lower middle order, you have Livingston coming in, but I don't know whether they will open because Mayank Agarwal, if he's the captain, he will open with either Dhawan or Bairstow. So
But then they're saying
whatever, I
Shikhar
think.
Dhawan could be the captain.
Oh, then well, I think they have like 3 4 good batting options at the top, and one
They
of
do.
them can slot in the middle orders as well. Uh, but I think overall it's a pretty decent team, and in the bowling department they do have, as you said, Rahul Chahar is a smart buy. They have Rabada, who can give them that early burst and breakthroughs. So I think it's a pretty decent team. I think my expectation of Punjab were so low that this looks like a uh, pleasant surprise.
All right. So, Bikram, I want to give the mic to you. And also, just to let you know, again, this guy's also been fooled. They've also bought the female player from the Australian team, Nathan Ellis. And this person has been going around getting sold in teams, getting unnoticed. Nobody's noticing that this person is not a male; it's a female. But she's like so woke, and I think this is another woke move, another woke buy. How do you think they went today? I think they went decent as well today. I mean, they've already done their big spending yesterday. Apart from Liam Livingston, which somebody I really like, has flopped completely in IPL last season. Hasn't been too great for England also in the recent series also. But I think this guy, when I see him, right, I feel like he's gonna hit, right. He hits something, he's gonna stay hit. And he just needs to come good, and he's gonna be like single-handedly win them 2-3 games, as I said earlier. Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I think they have done a very good job. Especially yesterday, they did very good. They got good combinations, and overall, I think they managed to do a very good job because when you have all so much money in your purse, you sometimes can go berserk on some one player and just uh, destroy the team's balance, which always happens with RCB. But I think they did well, and at least in the batting combinations are really good. Like they have finishers, they have the very destructive openers. So and they have decent all rounders. Bowling looks a bit thin, uh, but there are a couple of new players. So we'll see how that performs. Raj Bawa is there, which we were talking about. He bowls really well, at least in the under 19 tournament. So we'll see how he manages to do in the IPL. So overall decent. They could have done much better. I think a bit better. They were left with I think 3 crores. So
Three
they could
points,
have gone.
3.4.
Yeah,
Yep.
they could have tried to buy a great bowler, fast bowler. So that would have, I think, been better. But yeah, overall, I think they have done really well. They have not made a very shit team, which can happen in these kind of auctions.
All right, I know what you were alluding to. Before I move on to Delhi, I'll make it clear for the audience, whosoever's listening, that constantly Bikram kept saying without saying the name. I'll tell you the name he was looking for. He said bowling has been weak. They could have bought a great fast bowler. He's constantly telling us they should have bought Arjun Tendulkar. That's what he's trying to say. But they did not. They had so much money. I do not know. I think this is political. This is definitely political. I don't know why they did not buy this. Bowling is thin. They should have bought. Come on, man, Bikram. You Bikram has become Arjun Tendulkar's agent. And it was him who told Gujarat Titans to just mess with these people by putting a bid of 25 lakhs. And then after that, Gujarat was just like started chuckling and they just couldn't do it. Although he had asked them to put it till 70, just keep pushing it. Get it. Okay, well, let's talk about Delhi. And everybody's talking about Delhi. The way they've sold their purse, they've done their purse. They're left with only 10 lakhs, which is also coming to our kitty. They have bought all 24 players overall. Very interesting job. Mitchell Marsh for 6.5, David Warner for 6. A lot of people are saying like this guy Wasim Jafar is saying this is like Sarojini Nagar buy, like Sarojini Nagar prices they've got for these people. I feel Shardul Thakur they paid a lot of money, but again, as you guys will say, like when the bidding war happens, you can't control it. But Andre Nokia is already there. I'm not sure he's totally fit or not. They got Bharat also, who's also a backup wicket keeper because Tim Seifert also they bought as a wicket keeper. But I think Rishabh Pant will continue to wicket keep for 1,660,000. Khalil Ahmed, I want somebody to talk about because I don't rate him very high. He's been paid 5 crores. He better come good today. Um, uh, Otherwise, they bought a lot of cheap players as well. Chetan Sakaria, they spent 4.2. So again, finally, one more player comes in for 4.2, 420 after Bhuvneshwar Kumar because I think they both are rolling the joints. So, BK, you want to take up from here and give us your view on this thing? Hope your dogs are okay right now. Dog.
Yeah, Yeah, she is.
She is.
I think it's a good team that they've assembled. To me, this somehow it feels that Delhi looks on paper like the most balanced team, has all the bases covered.
Yeah, everybody's
Um,
saying that.
yeah, I just somehow think that they've done a reasonably good job, and they've used their purse like wisely. Um, I, I I really like the balance. I like the power of Shaw and Warner opening the batting, Pant in the middle order, uh, you know, uh, Norkia in the bowling department, Mitchell Marsh coming in as an all-rounder. I like Chetan Sakaria as well. I don't know. The price that they bought him for probably is uh, above his weight, but I think he has good potential. Mustafiz again can do a
Starting 11.
job at that. Yeah, I think I like the starting 11, and having Ngidi and Seifert as options for batting and bowling in case
Ngidi
Norkia
for
is not
50
there.
lakhs, man. Ngidi for 50
Yeah,
lakhs, man.
it's a great job. It's a good job done by Delhi team. I think
It's a great
they will
one.
again be. My hunch is that they will be again like they're definitely playoffs team for sure. I'm not sure whether they'll win, but I think they will definitely make the playoffs. I think that the squad is really good.
Yeah, I've also got this West Indian player, Roman Powell, and don't know if he's
Oh
going to
yeah,
play. Bikram might know more about this guy. So, what do you think, Bikram? Apart from all the things we already talked about yesterday, I think brilliant buy. I don't know why nobody went for Lungi and Giri. Boy, 50 lakhs. That's free
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think they got apart from Khalil Ahmed, I think they were trying to just increase the price for others, and the others backed out. Apart from
Hmm.
that, that I think they did a wonderful job because Khalil Ahmed for 5 crores, that's not. I mean, that's nowhere near
Well,
the
Eid
correct
coming
price.
early for him, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they
Overall,
got
pretty.
because that's what.
They'll probably work on him. I mean, Ponting must have seen something. He needs to control his emotions first of all. Just get too
No, I
excited,
think
way too excited.
no, I just feel that
It's a left
they
armor,
didn't they
right?
weren't
I think that's also one
right,
important
right,
thing.
right. So I don't think they were planning to buy him. They were just trying to bring the price up because that's what they have been doing. I have noticed this.
And
They
then
have
people
been
backed
doing it.
off.
Yeah. And then this is the one time where it misfired,
Double
and they had to
crossed. They
buy.
got double crossed.
But yeah,
That was
apart from
nice.
that, I think they got good deals. They made very smart buys, and their balance is looking good. I think just one thing which I see missing is they don't have many finishers which can come in, and that's what was happening in last time. Even last time when they tried to open with these Rahane so that the big hitters can come later. So that is the only thing which I feel there is. I know there's Mitchell Mars, there is Rishabh Pant is there, but I just feel that there should have been at least one more big hitter who can come and finish in the matches. Maybe that Powell guy can do that. But yeah, I mean
I was just
overall, I
checking him
think
out for that. He has 130 odd strike rate in 170-20 matches. So I think he has to be the guy because there's nobody else. He has to be the guy.
right.
He has to be.
So
Because you can't push
yeah,
Mitchell
so
March down there, right? He needs to come up the order,
right.
right? These people need to come up the order. So, okay,
So
that should
yeah,
be
I
fine.
think
Yeah, go on.
base
Final word.
right. I think so. Yeah, I think this is one of the best teams which came out from the auction. So definitely a good stable squad.
All right, let's talk about Rajasthan Royals, the winner of the very first IPL, and then nothing. Not a bad job. They've also bought 24 players. Trent Bolt for 80, 800. Josh Butler was already there. Rassi Van Dusen for only 1 crore. Darren Mitchell, James Neesham for 150. Doing a good job. Karun Nair, everybody keeps talking about the same. Is it the guy who made 300 and then nothing? Then nothing? I mean, they should have at least paid him 300. They paid him 140. That was fine. Yuzvendra Chahal, amazing buy. But then they spent a lot of money on Hartmeyer for 850. I don't know why, but you got to do certain things. But they've had a very good window with a lot of amazing bargains, including R Ashwin. And as the video is going on the online, that he's been already given approval by the guy who's the most expensive. No, sorry, not Josh Butler, who's the big guy there, and he said, "I'm okay with him. I'm in fact looking forward to playing with him," and that's something is amazing. Yeah,
I think yeah, you're right. I think Rajasthan is an interesting team because I don't know whether they know something about the Jaipur track that everyone doesn't, but they have got India's technically like the three frontline spinners, right? They've got Chahal, they've got Ashwin, and I think they've got Kuldeep Yadav as well, right?
I think
Correct
it was
me if I'm
Kuldeep
wrong.
Yadav also. I
No,
don't
no,
see
that's
Kuldeep.
the other.
They got
No, no,
Kuldeep
that's the
Sen.
other
That's a different
Kuldeep.
guy. There are a lot
Kuldeep
of
Yadav.
Oh,
Kuldeeps.
okay.
Okay, there's three
Okay,
Kuldeeps.
sorry.
Yeah.
One Kuldeep with the I also.
I was
The
wondering
Kuldeeps are
like
floating
how did
around.
they why do they need all these spinners like three spinners who can play in the first team? Okay, so that's a different guy. But anyways, I
They
think
got two Kuldeeps, and none of
Chahal,
them is a real Kuldeep. Can the real Kuldeep please stand up? Please stand up. And
yeah,
everybody's
I
going for
think
2-0-2-0, and this guy went for 2-0 and extra zero. But that's for real Kuldeep. Is like Kuldeep is in the previous team, and he's gone to Delhi because I think whatever I just have so much trust in Ricky Ponting, right? If he's picking up Khalil, if he's picking up Kuldeep Yadav, because Kuldeep Yadav has so much talent, right? As a ball
And
spins,
I think
it's amazing. It's just here, it's like I think he's battling with Siraj because there was a video earlier 2 years ago when Siraj slapping him, and Siraj just joined the team in Australia or something. Kuldeep Yadav had been there, and he thinks he's the senior guy. He just slapped him.
hmm.
Random game. How many people love Raina? He's finished. He's done. It's over.
I'm
Accept it.
I'm also surprised. No one is commenting about Steve Smith. He's unsold. No one bought him, right? No one picked up Steve
Nobody
Smith,
bought him. Nobody
and no
talked
one
about
is
him.
even
Nobody
talking.
cares.
So I think it's
no,
worse than
it's
Raina. Also, no one is talking about Steven Smith.
no. I
Because
mean,
Raina has
it's
been a legend in IPL. Steven Smith has
he's the
been a
Mr.
legend
IPL.
overall,
The
but people think he's not a good
the
T20 player.
and
So yeah,
recent and
that's the
just
reason.
now I got a notification like Steven Smith out of the Sri Lanka T20I series because of concussion. I think because no one bought him, he fell down and got his
Where the
leg
hell he had
compressed, and
concussion?
now
He just got out, and concussion happened when? I
yeah,
saw him batting.
I
He
he, yeah. So I think
he
he's
hit a
like
ball in
okay,
somewhere. He
screw
like
it.
he got caught in the long on or something. Then when was the concussion? I think the concussion was
See,
happened right after.
forget
After the
about
auction, yes.
Hmm.
forget about. In fact, think about who is the number one T20 spinner and number one T20 batsman. Both
My
went unsold.
God, man, David Milan not getting picked. T20. Is it Adil Rashid?
Tabrez Samshi.
Tabrez did not get picked. By the way, you kept talking about Adil, right? Again, Adil also did not get picked.
Uh,
It's crazy. Or did
that's
he? I'm just
really
double checking. He did
surprising.
not. He did not. No, he did not get picked. Tabrez did not get picked. It's amazing. There's certain things we don't know. Trust me. Once we get
No,
the inside of it,
I think this no, I think it's just because of the limitation on overseas players. Now I think they should have actually increased the slots for overseas players because there are 10 teams now. So you don't
hmm,
want, there are so many good. That's why these people have not got picked because uh, all the teams have their overseas slot uh, kind of figured out.
what
So
is it?
it's very
Eight,
difficult.
eight. They can get eight and 17
Eight and
Indian.
four. Yeah, eight. You can pick for the whole squad, and then four can play in the
Yeah, but
matches.
like I'm just saying for the entire 25 is the max, right?
Right.
So it's 17 and 8, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
So they should have actually increased the slots for overseas player because it just feel like now there are 10 teams, right? So there'll be the quality players will get divided between teams, and you don't want very average teams playing the IPL. So I just feel they should have done it. So yeah, okay, we actually got sidetracked from the discussion
Yeah.
about
So for me,
Rajasthan Royals.
Vikram, I'm just saying, I wanted to say this thing. I don't know if you were saying something else, you can say it. But for me, if this team has to do something this year, then their biggest buys, because I'm not concerned about the buys which are good buys, like Ashwin, Trent, Bolt, they'll do well. There's no problem. Rassi Van Dusen, all these people, in Karun Nair including. It's Chahal also. It's a Sanju Samson with 14 crores, Joss Butler at like 10 crores. Then there's new buy Prasida Krishna at 10 crores, and this fucking person they bought for like 850 Hatmar. If these people don't perform to their numbers, then they're going to do nothing and they're going to
Yeah,
come last again. Yeah.
spot on. Yeah, I agree with that.
No, 100%. And I think their batting is, they have good players, but again, there's that kind of stability is not there, which you require for a consistent performing team. so or consistently performing at that level. There is Sanju Samson, which we all know, right? He scores hundreds and then two matches it will be zero. So it's either zero, it's either or 100. So so that's the problem. But they have tried to. So I think bowling wise, they have got very good buys in Ashwin and Chahal. Chahal for 6.5 crores. I think it's a steal. And Jaipur track is slow. Jaipur track is slow, so he'll really enjoy bowling there. And so I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I think it all depends upon the consistency of their batting department, which I feel there's a big question mark there.
One
All right,
just last
wonderful. So we're
point on
gonna,
Rajasthan
yeah,
Royals.
go on. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they've got these three ex. I mean, players from Mumbai. I think two of them are reasonably. I mean, all of them are good.
Kultanaya.
I think
Hmm.
Coulter-Nile, Bolt, and Nisham. So both
Yes.
Coulter-Nile and Nisham are like all rounders at 5, 6, 7. If they somehow like they give them the right responsibility and the role in the team, they really may balance this side out. Nisham and Coulter-Nile. They might use
Yeah,
one, they
Jimmy
might
Neesham is
use
going to be
both.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome buys, man. Awesome buys. I mean, that's what, like, as you guys agreed also, I was saying it was the big ticket players. They need to perform. There's no problem with the other ones. In fact, they will definitely perform. In fact, there's a player name called Gadwal also. My father was from Gadwal. All right, let's move on to Mumbai Indians, the people who always win or don't qualify even for the playoffs, because we call them playoffs. It was, to be very honest, till the very very end. I can assure you, like, I was like, this team is going nowhere, and then they buy Arjun Tendulkar, and I was like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. It's just. And by the way, I was scared for like 1 second. Like suddenly Gujarat came in, is like started bidding for him. I was like, no, 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 no. Mumbai doesn't have enough money. This is not gonna work out. And Gujarat's gonna win the title. When then somehow Gujarat, just like they just, I mean, brain fade happened like a Steven Smith situation. They forgot about it. They bought Arjun Tendulkar, so they were all good. They bought a lot of interesting players called Hrithik Roshan. Oh no, so he's called Hrithik Shokeen. I think they're going with the names Rahul Butti. They just like the name. And they have bought Jaydev Unadkat also. Finally for the right price. 1 crore 30. That is the right price, buddy. And they also bought Timal Mills for the right price, 150. And the same player who went for 15 crores bought for 1.5 crores. RCB, are you listening, buddy? Are you listening? Where is your dimag? Also, I want everybody to at least comment on, apart from all the things you'll comment on, the fact that they've also bought a player who's not even going to be fucking playing. And no, we're not talking about Arjun Tendulkar again. Of course, he's not going to be playing. We're talking about Sir Jofra Archer. Let me bow. Let me bow. So, yeah, go on, please.
Yeah. On the face of it, I don't think Mumbai has like. I mean, if I'm a Mumbai fan, I'm not too convinced with this squad. Somehow, I don't know why, like Chennai stuck to its route and got all the players back. These guys, of course, let Hardik Pandya, Krunal Pandya go from their middle order crux of Pandya brothers and Pollard. Um, it's just a strange one, this Mumbai, because certainly I don't know too much about this guy called Dewald Brewis, which they've picked. They've picked.
Baby AB.
He's baby AB.
Yeah, yeah, I heard yesterday, but since I've not seen him, then there is this guy called Tim David, who they paid like
Oh, yeah, he's big
eight
shit now,
crores.
apparently, right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, these are like are punts. They may come off, they may not. So it's a mixed bag for me. Um, and Jofra Archer, I'm also perplexed. Like I'm not sure. I think with the departure of Trent Bolt, they needed someone in the pace bowling to replace Trent Bolt. But I think they should have retained Trent Bolt. I think he did a good job and he complemented Bumrah well. But not sure why they let him go, Nisham go, Coulter-Nile go, Pandya brothers go. I mean, I know Hardik was already out of the auction, but it's a strange one. It'll be interesting to see how it pays off. But you're right; they are a complete hit or miss team. Either they'll win all the way, or they'll not qualify for the playoffs.
Yeah. So, to answer your question, one good thing is they have Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma, as much as I shit on him, the fact is that he is an amazing player. And he manages very nicely. He just talks the way he talks and all, just manage. You saw the whole difference how we were playing in South Africa in the one day series under KL, brainless Rahul. And then we came here. Obviously, we had home advantage, but the fact is just the way he was captaining, right? He knows his shit. Right. That was the main thing. That was there. Also, to answer your question, Bikram was going to answer it, but I'm just going to steal his thunder. The fact is that once your team starts winning so much, right, all your players just become too expensive. We know from football, right? Once it's like that's one of the reasons they can't retain all these people. Retain four people, they had to let people go. That's why they had to pay fucking 15 crores for Ishan. Right now, Ishan is having orgasms even right now. He's been having orgasms in yesterday. I think by tomorrow he's going to be in Guinness Book of World Records of orgasm by a man. Then he'll probably think I'm becomes gender fluid or something. Let's not go into that gray area and slippery slope. So Bikram, what do you think about Mumbai?
I think it's I mean I'm really amazed. I mean it positively. I'm not going to shit on them, but I'm really amazed at how they planned all this. They had 25 crores going into the the second half of the second day,
They
and
were doing the
and
Dhoni. Keep it late, keep it late.
and when they started, then they
Take it
started,
deep.
they like screwed everyone. I mean, this they went for Team David and this, and then Jofra Archer. Obviously, yeah, we are saying that obviously Jofra Archer will not play, and for me, I think yeah, a lot of people are saying that okay, Jofra Archer. I mean, when Bumrah and Jofra Archer will bowl together, it'll be amazing. It's like the opposition will shiver and all that. But
Yeah, that's
there
what
are
they said
lots
about
of
Hardik also. Yeah, Pandya.
but there are lots of conditions, never know how he'll come back after that big injury. You may never know
Yeah.
what will happen during the next year, because this year is not coming. Next year there will be Ashes or whatever, and there's a lot of talk about saving the England players from IPL and all that. So there might be chances that he might not even be available for the whole tournament in some of those upcoming IPL editions. So it's a big gamble, but the way
They
they
probably
went
know
about
what
it,
we don't know. Yeah, they probably know something. They must have done their research.
right?
Hoping,
They
hoping.
probably, yeah, because
Everybody
see,
keeps saying that scouting great, checking out. They must have checked on him that how is he doing, flown wherever the hell he is, West Indies or wherever, because he's
yeah,
from
so
there, right? Obviously. Go
yeah,
on.
it's a big gamble, and but the way they went for it, it was just amazing to watch. They like they were just sitting throughout the day, not going for anyone. And when they would go for someone, they would most of the time they would buy them. It was just amazing to see them, operate. If will it turn out good? I think it will, because obviously we have seen things happen which we never thought. This guy, the Sri Lankan dude, he retired from cricket when they forced him
Hmm.
to come and play for their country. So these kind of things can happen. And Jofra Archer, again, you have to say that he's not. I mean, he left his country to play for England, and then he's coming to IPL. He became big due to IPL. So it might not be a big thing that he might even, prioritize IPL over England. So it can happen. So yeah, but I mean, they have question marks in their batting, I think, because Rohit Sharma, although he's so great and everything, but he has not played really well in recent IPLs. And there is they so broke their bank on Ishan Kishan, so they were not able to go for other big name players. So yeah, I mean, I think batting wise they're a bit light, but bowling wise I think they're solid, and they have Pollard also. So yeah, yeah, let's see. I think they will turn it around on the field.
Oh yeah, definitely have faith in them, but let's see how that works. On the paper is fine. Let's move on to Sunriser Hyderabad. At the end, they did not do a terrible job because they were looking very bad after they only retained Williamson, Umran Malik, and Abdul Samad. Sorry. So they bought Priyam Garg for 20 lakhs because nobody cares for him. I have never cared for him, but they've got this couple of new people. Apart from spending a lot of money on Sundar 8.75, they got Marco Jensen. I think that's going to be a definite starter for them. I also left armor. But then they've also got Natarajan, who's also left armor. So I don't know who's going to start, who's not going to start. We'll figure out. Also, Natarajan has been coming back from a long layoff as well. Bhuvneshwar Kumar is obviously there. He has something to prove. Maybe he can follow Yuzvendra Chahal's footsteps, because once he was under the radar, he was under fire. He actually came out and he's been performing amazingly. That's why, in fact, the fact that he went for such a small amount of money, 6.5, which is surprising. I'm just trying to think who is actually good in this. Sean Abbott is there. This is the guy from Australia, I believe. And I think something else is coming to my mind. I'll probably not say it, which is going to be probably not the right time. For a Tripathi, they bought for 850. I think Tripathi used to be the one person we used to troll, but then he came good towards the end. But again, 850 is too much. But I definitely feel Nicholas Puran got paid way too much. But Aiden Markram is a definitely amazing buy. This guy's an. It says batter. I don't know. This guy needs to change it. He's not a batter. He's an all rounder, and he's definitely going to give you 2, 3, 4 overs every match. Um, we had no hope from them, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's okay. Yeah,
They,
go on, take it up.
yeah. So since I also had no hope, they have met expectations. I think this again is a, to me, the Kane Williamson cannot like lose because he's been set up for failure. This team will not qualify for the playoffs. If they do, then Williamson will be hailed as this, miracle worker, because no one expects anything from this team. There is no name which stands out and says, "I'm a world beater, I'm a world class player." Like, it's just a very very average team. To me, like, this probably is the worst squad of all the teams that I've seen. Um, I just can't see them going deep in this tournament. It's just a very very
We
average team. They
should.
were,
Hmm,
yeah.
they would be.
This is the shit squad. Yeah, that's. I don't know whether you wanted to say something else, but yeah, this is the squad which is the worst squad, which I was going to name. And if you saw the, if you saw the
Wooden
auction,
spoon.
they were like totally. They didn't have any idea like what they're doing. They had constantly someone on the phone, and that guy
Well, why is that
whoever.
girl the main person? And why not Tom Moody or somebody? Why is she the person who's like her word is the last word? And why are these people still using like those wiry phones with like 3.55 jack? They don't have any money or what? What phones are these?
Yeah,
Like, I
that's,
don't
I mean,
understand. They're like,
that was
hold on, hold on,
so,
hold
yeah, and that's what, and when these people were, whenever these people were, bidding for someone, they would take so much time to just increment 10 lakhs, and this it was just bad, it was just bad. There was no they were, I think they were even checking out Wikipedia pages of some of the cricketers, and I don't think they were totally prepared for this. And
on. Oh
this,
my
I just feel
God.
like they just bought something, or something. They were going for everyone, they were just going and then leaving in between. So I mean, I will be very surprised if this team does something in the next couple of IPL. And again, now all the good players are taken, right? Because this is a big auction. So it's not like someone will release
No,
someone and then
no.
these people.
Suresh Raina will come back and save this team, or Steve Smith may come back. Don't say that.
Oh,
So
sweet
yeah,
Jesus.
that's Kavya Maran. I think her name is, who was sitting there, and I think
She was there
one.
last time as well. She's like the person who makes the calls. Like, it's just weird. I just
And
find
she
it.
didn't have any idea because Tom Wood, he was sitting besides her, and then there was that guy on the phone all the time, and she would
Hmm.
speak to them and then say, "Okay,
She's
uthana
the
hai, हाँ
figurehead,
उठा दो,
right?
okay."
She's just the figurehead, right?
So
She just like puts
it
up the.
just, yeah, it just, I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. If I was a Hyderabad supporter, I would have changed my team.
One interesting thing, one last thing from my side is they always pick up these, I mean, Afghan players, right? They had at one point in time they had Rashid, Mujib, and Nabi. Now they've picked some mystery spinner from Afghanistan called
Yeah, yeah.
Fazal Faruqi or something. Let's see how it turns out.
Yeah,
If he follows in the
Fazal
foot.
Haq Faruqi. It's difficult to pronounce the name. Fazal Kar
Yeah,
Faruqi. Yeah.
Fazal Haq Faruqi. So I don't know if he steps into the shoes of Mujib or Rashid, then great for them. But again, as I said, nothing more to add here. That's it.
All right, all right. Let's move on to the last two teams. And now, actually, I just realized that I'm not the guy who's actually withholds information. And but that time, I was going to say something. I'm going to say it now. But I think that time it was because I was doing it spontaneously. I felt like it might not come across in the right way. But now I've had time to think about it. If you don't know, if both of you are not aware yet, but Sean Abbott is the same person who in 2014 bowled that delivery which hit Phil Hughes around the neck, and Phil Hughes dies after that. So he also took a time out after that. He took few months off because it's just kind of very weird, right?
Yeah,
When some
good
of the
good to
players die,
see him
but that's
back
the
on the field.
yeah. You know,
I think
he came back. He's been performing well. I mean, he was never like a bowler who was going to be like in the great Australian team or something, but he's been in and about. Like he's played few one-day internationals as well, and he has been there and thereabout. He's been always performing well. So now that he's here, it's nice to see him that he's back at. But that reminded me like who Sean Abbott was like that way. So I just move on to saying that. So may he rest in peace, Phil Hughes. So let's talk about Lucknow Super Giants. A lot of people have been talking about how good they have been. Oh, sorry, am I talking the right team? Yes, I am talking about the right team. I'm just gonna double check it. This is not Hardik Pandya's team, right? Yeah, okay. So I keep messing up. No, they did not buy too many players, but they've overall done a very good business. Of course, they have a shit captain, but nobody has realized it right now. They will realize it, don't worry. And he's the highest paid player in the IPL. Now they've also bought Gotham, who was bought by, I don't know why CSK had bought him for like 8 point some crores. Now he was bought for 90 lakhs. Also, Bikram, correct me in case I'm mixing up some other guy because I'm pretty sure it's this guy only, K Gotham, who's bought for 90 lakhs. Stoneys obviously was
Yeah, same
retained,
guy,
like,
same
or
guy.
yeah, same guy, right? Bishnoi and everything. But they bought a lot of players like Karan Sharma, Ayush Badoni, Mohsin for 20 lakhs, like cheap buys and all. But then they've got Mark Wood at 7.5, and Mark Wood plays really good. Quentin de Kock plays very good. Jason Holder is 8.75, decent amount of money. I just my worries were from yesterday. We already talked about, so Lal can talk about a little bit. Krunal Pandya for 8.25, which was just pushed by Gujarat Titans. If you really see the auction, it was Gujarat kept pushing it, and then they at the end just moved away. And then he was told for 8.25. How the fuck do you explain Krunal Pandya going for 8 point and the Deepak Huda almost the same price as for David fucking Warner? I mean, just unfucking believable. But otherwise, overall, I don't feel it's bad. Avish Khan better perform the way he performed last season. Otherwise, paying
yeah,
10 crores for Avish Khan.
yeah, that's I don't know. Like they know something that probably we don't know. Like why 10 crores for Avesh Khan, and
Because he was amazing
yeah,
last year, but you don't emulate in the
bit,
next season. It doesn't
yeah. Between the two new teams, I think I like their logic. Unfortunately, they made like overpaid Rahul. That's why they only have 21 players in the squad, unlike 25, and their purse is zero. So they're completely run out of money because they overpaid for
they think they
Rahul.
spent very well. Zero. They spent everything. Cleaned it up.
But I think, yeah, but I think their overseas players give me a lot of confidence. I think Jason Holder is a very very underrated all rounder. He's a really smart buy. Quinton de Kock, Marcus Stoinis, and Mark Wood. These four overseas players, I think, are on their day can win you matches. And Rahul, with Rahul, at least you know that he'll score runs. Now Rahul,
Yeah.
the captain, is my only worry that he will screw this up. And in among all this, you mix Krunal Pandya and Huda, and who will chip in for a couple of matches with a batting performance here and there. It's looking a decent side. I'm not still seeing that this might be a playoff side, just because of Rahul's captaincy. But yeah, it's a decent job they've done.
Yeah, it's a team that is filled with all rounders, as you can see. In fact, by the way, I'll go as far as saying that not even those four, even the other two, which were bought for only 20 lakhs, probably to 2 crores, even Lewis and Chamira, I think both are good buy for overseas players. So, Bikram, over to you. And what do you think about Lucknow? This is very close to your heart. UP, the UP, sir.
Gautam Gambhir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Gotham.
they did a very good job. They did
Mhm.
a very good job. Obviously, buying Rahul at that price. But if you see right now, out of all the current next gen players, there is no one actually who can be compared to Rahul, right? Even though he is not a good captain, but if you compare him with Shreyas Iyer or whoever is there, I mean Surya Kumar Yadav and all that, he is better than all those players. So if you have to buy a young captain or a young player to lead the team, there is no one, Indian captain. So there is no one apart from KL Rahul. So there was no choice. But I feel that it's a good team, and a lot of Punjab players are here because I think they got got really, got really upset with Anil Kumble because I mean Ravi Vishnu is such a great spinner. He was not getting picked at all in the squad, so he definitely wanted out, I think. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see all these players play with. Outside of Kumble's coaching ability. So it'll be interesting, and I think they have, yeah, they have
done really well. They have bought exactly 21 players with all the money they had, and they have bought the as you say, the overseas players are good. The Indian players are also very good. They have bought some players are obviously overpriced, but that's always the case in these auctions. So I think this is one of the best teams from this auction.
Yeah, only thing I'll say is like, I understand Rahul is the best player. I think if Rahul should not be captain and somebody, the captain should tell him like, you go out there, you just play, just go all out. It doesn't matter if you
Hmm.
get out like, on a low score every other game. It's fine. But one time when you perform, you'll win us 4 or 5 games because that's the kind of player
Right.
Rahul is. But he's the captain, he'll be more under pressure. Let's talk about the final team, Gujarat Titans, whose name has already changed from Ahmedabad to Gujarat Titans. Ahmedabad is even removed from the name completely, which is interesting. So they already have Shubman Gill pre-hand, Hardik Pandya for 15, which is way too much money, and Rashid Khan definitely worth the money. I think towards the end, because they had some money left, they did okay. But my goodness, they kept waiting till forever. Apart from Lockie Ferguson and all, they just did not have too many players. But eventually, because their purse was running out, they did buy Jason Roy very well for because people don't care for Jason Roy for whatever reason. Definitely a good buy, definitely a good opener. David Miller was eventually bought because they realized they had nobody. I don't know who Yash Dayal is. He's probably like an under 19 player, I believe. Vikram will tell me more about this thing. Bought for 3.2 crores. Vridhiman Saha was eventually bought towards the very end. Matthew Wade was bought towards the very end. I think in the very end, they actually saved their asses. Azari Joseph was bought towards the end. Abhinav Manohar, I have no idea. Is he another under 28 or somebody who's already performed well? No clue. What do you guys think of this thing? I know towards the end they made few buys and they kind of saved them, and they've also bought the greatest player ever in the history, um, Ambati Raidu's best friend from previous life, this life, and beyond the life, 3D Vijay Shankar, the love of his life.
I,
And you're
yeah,
on
I
mute.
think this is like a big. I mean, I don't know. They were probably enjoying thepla while doing the auction. I don't know. They were distracted or something. What was their strategy and what is their plan? I mean, I couldn't figure out from the squad
No
that
plan.
they've assembled. I think I think this team will compete for the, you know, bottom three spots from the looks
Yeah,
of
with
it.
Sunrisers. Yeah.
Because Pandya, the captain, I have no idea. Like it's completely unknown, untested commodity. Pandya, the all rounder, is a big question mark because probably we don't know how much he can bowl, and you've put in so much money on a guy who's completely untested and you know I don't know whether he'll be able to captain and rally the team when how smart he's up here, only God knows. So time will tell how this will happen, but seriously don't have too much hopes, man. This is like a really poorly assembled team. You're right. Probably the only saving grace that I can see is the buy of Jason Roy and David Miller. I think those two guys give me some semblance of like hope. If they play well in 1 or 2 games, they'll win the match for the team, and probably Rashid Khan to add to it. But yeah, apart from that, it doesn't like bode well for the team.
Yeah, I think we have too many captains, but not really anybody who can really captain apart from Mahendra Singh Dhoni in this situation. And Owen Morgan is already out. So, yes, Vikram, final word on the final team, the Gujarat, the
Yeah, I mean,
Ahmedabad.
when we were talking about
They don't even have a
young Indian
sign, right? Have you
captain.
seen the sign? It's like their badge. It's not even there, just plain. They didn't even. I mean, these people have not thought of anything, have they? Because Lucknow has come up with really nice badge with a butterfly and nice wings and everything. There's like just as Gujarat Titans.
Right, because
The Ahmedabad team.
Lucknow was RPS, the Pune team. They have just
Yeah.
copied everything from there because that was
Okay, got it.
it was the same owner, the Goenkas. So anyway, so yeah, I think yeah, I mean the Gujarat Titans when they got Hardik Pandya as captain for 15 crores, I think that should have been the giveaway that they are not thinking about it. They're just winging everything. And even though they're not the worst team, because they got some decent players and they got Rashid Khan there, and but some of the buys like Rahul Tewatia for 9 crores, oh my God, why? Why 9 crores for
My
Rahul Tewatia?
God, that was Jesus
So
Christ. Rahul Tewatia was like, I was like confusion over here. Kuch Rahul,
and
KL
I just
Rahul.
thought
I think
about
they're
it.
thinking I'm KL Rahul. They're like confusing. They're confused. They're
Yeah,
confused.
actually, because I think Rahul Tewatia in 2020 edition, right? He scored those sixes, and there was no crowd in there, and there was chants for Rahul, 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 and Neville was thinking,
Hmm.
why did they, how did they record Rahul chants? Then everyone realized it was not for Rahul Tewatia, it was for KL Rahul. So,
And we didn't
but
even know
then
his name was Rahul because we all call him Tevatia, like last name,
Tewatia,
right?
right?
The only reason we call KL Rahul because that's how they name, like, the in the southern India they have this
Sudden,
KL
yeah.
and the Rahul last name will become like the first name or something. So that's
So
the reason.
this guy Rahul Tewatia, whatever the sixes he scored, it was in that small Sharjah ground, right? And this Ahmedabad ground is not even small. So I mean,
Oh,
just
it's not at
thinking
all
about it,
small.
it is not at
It's
all
like the
small. And
largest ground or some shit like that. Yeah.
so paying 15 plus 9 crores for Rahul and Hardik, it just boggles my mind. They have some, I mean, really, really amazingly bad buys. So I think they'll come around, and they'll have to change their squad very frequently. I think in the next season, it just feels
Yeah.
very unbalanced, and it's just
True. And even when you see the like, I noticed that the foreign buys have been very good. But the fact is
hmm,
because Lockie Ferguson is going to play and Rashid Khan is also for foreign buy. Then after that, Jason Roy will open. You can either play David Miller, Matthew Wade could be an like, he's obviously a wicket keeper situation,
they'll
and
have
he's
to
the
play
only.
Matthew Wade,
Yeah, right. Matthew Wade. So the only other wicketkeeper they have is Vidyavan Saha. And if they play Vidyavan Saha, then he's not been that good, right? So it's just a very. I just think it's a very shitty squad. If they come
and
last, I'll be laughing. I'll be smiling. I'm banking right now. This season I've not picked anybody, but I'm picking them from Wooden Spoon. They better gonna fucking get the Wooden Spoon because I really don't see somebody else gonna be even worse than them. Although they could be, But for
and
me, I'm picking them. I'm putting money on them.
their planning was so bad that going into the last hour, they didn't have any wicket keeper. They bought both Matthew Wade and this guy Saha at the very end.
And they did
So
not go for Sam Billings, when he was going for such cheap money. What
yeah,
the fuck are you
exactly.
thinking?
So imagine if both Matthew Wade, because they are also not left with a lot of money. If imagine someone went for both Matthew Wade and Saha, what would have what would have
They
these people done?
they they were
Hardik
having
Pandya, the all-rounder. Hardik Pandya will do it.
they were
Hardik will do it.
they were
Hardik
having
will.
special Maruana Theplas.
Vijay Shankar will do it, right? He's the 3D. He'll make him 4D.
No, because Hardik Pandya did say that you will be surprised this season what I'll do. So probably he was thinking of doing everything, wicket keep, bowl. So he'll only
Oh,
bowl,
Jesus.
come back and do the wicket keeping.
I think they're
So
writing AR right next to his name, right? All-rounder. They should write
yeah.
asterisks also, who never bowls. Like, that's how it should be.
Conditions apply.
Fucking
So
hell.
so it's not
No, he's
SRH
right.
bad,
Vikram is
but
right. Like, because you haven't seen the auction, right? They were all over the place. It's because towards the end they had some money left and they had players. All the good players, they ended up buying three good players for very cheap because they had no clue. Like, literally, he's like, wait, go khareed lete hain." Usko like, what? We're just
Arjun
getting these
Arjun
people.
पे
It's
भी
just
डाल दिया.
crazy.
Arjun
I mean, how do you not have a fucking Matthew Wade might not even
को
show
दिया.
up because Australia is playing
Let go.
somewhere. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, but they got
Better.
lucky towards the end because the way the auction works, right? The Vidyavan Saha, everybody was gone for cheap
Hmm.
because everybody already had them. They didn't want to put in money on them because Vijay Shankar, nobody wanted Vijay Shankar. You bought it. Jayant Yadav, you just kept buying it. Rahul Tewatia, Varun Aaron, you buying. Like, I thought Varun Aaron was done. Even Varun Aaron thought he was done. He didn't even realize he was in the auction. Like, he was just joking
Yeah.
around. He was just mucking around. He had a bet against himself. He was like, nobody will buy me. I'd put 50 lakhs for that. He lost that money. Like, the guy's just like, fuck, now I have to play. I was hoping to make that money from like putting my name in and putting the bet on myself. I was gonna make some money because nobody's gonna buy it. Now he's lost it. Now he's gonna play also. He's like, fuck this shit, man. He was gonna pull off the Chris Morris thing, take the big money and run away. All right, so I think we're done with all that, right? So, what is our major learning from this thing apart from the greatest player did not get sold, and Arjun Tendulkar
I
is
think
also was the cheapest buy, the best buy of all. Yeah.
no, I think the one learning which we have is all the teams are very they have a lot of loopholes because I think the talent pool was stretched thin since there are ten teams and there is restriction on foreign players. So I think no team has like really good advantage on paper. I know that Mumbai Indians, we were saying their bowling is looking really good, but there are a lot of conditions on that, whether people will be fit, whether they will be available, and all that. So it just feels so. Yeah, I think all the teams have some disadvantages, some loopholes, some kind of weaknesses. Some teams have a lot of weaknesses, like SRH and the Gujarat Lions. But yeah, so I think
Titans.
that's the key takeaway.
They don't have a
Yeah,
logo, but they're
Titans.
Titans. Don't call them lions. They're more lions in their loins.
Yeah, Gujarat Lion was the older team.
They don't
Yeah.
have a logo. It just says Gujarat Titans. There's like nothing there. Like they'll probably make it in time. They're like,
वो
okay,
सोच
bana
रहे हैं
lenge.
अभी क्या करेंगे.
My God, man, this is such a banana republic.
as
Hardik knew it, but Hardik was getting paid 15 crores. He was like, I'll take it. I become captain.
as I
You'll
as I
become captain, sir. Sir, you'll become. He's like, yeah, I'm the captain. I'm the captain. I'm the captain. He already ordered
I'm telling
Lamborghinis.
you, you guys don't know this, but there is inside information that they were smoking spiked gatias and plus during the auction, and this is the result of that. So this is a complete mismatch, man.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, I
Gujarat.
think
Is that Ashish Nehra, right? Is that team? Is this team? This team
Yeah, Ashish
Ashish Nehra
Nehra.
team?
Yeah.
Oh
I
Jesus, this
mean,
guy, man.
the captain is Hardik
Uh,
Pandya and the coach is Ashish Nehra. Like, what do you expect?
it's gonna be
oh my God.
fireworks in the Narendra Modi Stadium.
All right, we've learned from this thing. We'll wrap this up. We've been amazing. Gav the bastard, not the molester, and the auction whore that we learned. Suresh Raina, greatest player, did not get sold. Arjun Tendulkar is such a great player. There was a bidding war for him. Eventually, went for 30 lakhs to Mumbai because they're going to play him just the way they played him last time. He will get mystery injury in the nets, and then there'll be a news there. It's like, oh, what will Mumbai do now? Big setback. Arjun Tendulkar will not be available for 2021 season anymore. Like he was playing, like he doesn't care. Right? They've also bought Jofra Archer, who's not going to be playing. We just realized that Rahul Tevatia is a great player. That's why they had to pay him 9 crores. Ishan Kishan is just come out like the greatest player in the IPL. They do it every single time. Whoever gets the maximum money just ends up retiring the day after because obviously what else they're going to do, they just made way too much money from there, right? So that's what happens. And
Yeah.
yeah, we also had like a right now a photo bomber because we didn't realize. And Lal realized that we had photo bomber. It's like wife comes in and also looking more at the phone. So I think she was the one who was advising Gujarat Titans, and I'm pretty sure Lal was not advising because Lal was like, I was busy. Let's just outsource everything. They outsourced everything to the wrong people, the consultants who had no idea about cricket. And Ashish Nehra looked completely at sea if you see him doing the auction. Also, I'm happy at the end that Hugh at Meady's, I'm forgetting his last name, but Hugh, who had a massive fall, he is doing fine. And hopefully, when he's back next time, they can do it properly. They can have two people doing it because for those long auditions, is like, sorry, those auctions, let's just have two people. It's just more reasonable. I mean, if it's sitting down, commentary has so many people. Every half an hour, they're changing, shifting. And every time there's these three people doing at the same time. I mean, the auction can be like taxing. The guy's 62 and he looks really, really unfair. Obviously, he's amazing at his job. And by the way, when Charu left, right, because when Charu came in, we realized how amazingly Charu was doing. Is when Charu went off, right, then we realized that this guy's even more amazing. It's just Charu. And also, I found out that Charu has done auctions before. It's not like he just showed up from nowhere. But the
Yeah.
fact that he was just sitting in his pajamas, they called him, it's like, put on your shoes and come in. Luckily, he also put on his pajamas because he was not even wearing pajamas. That's the truth we know. And he put on his shoes, pajamas, and he came there and he did a wonderful job. The fact that they had no backup, which was just amazing. But let's see what happens to these teams because IPL will start again very soon. Because what else? There's only IPL every 6 months. It's going to happen in India this time, although it hasn't been declared. But I really don't see any more reason now because if you really come to India, if you go anywhere in the world, people have realized that, okay, COVID, you're going to stay and we're going to do our shit now. We're going to carry on. All right. So thank you for your time. Hopefully you like this podcast, which was very, very long, but that's how it happens if you get some really good information. People are still very unhappy about Suresh Raina, including his wife, who's also unhappy because now she's not going to get any more diamond necklaces. And the kids are not going to go to some massive new cars. But everything comes to an end. And this podcast is also coming to an end. All right. Thank you for listening. We love you all. Like and subscribe. Maybe, maybe not. Your dog can like and subscribe. Everybody's allowed now. Everybody's woke. All right. All the gender fluid people as well. No hate on you. But don't become black person. You're not black. You're not even. You're just brown, just like us. Take care. Love you all. Bye bye. Look at this guy's
Bye.
beautiful hair. How can you not like and subscribe us? Look at his hair. Look at his hair. He's amazing. He's like this amazing guy. He's Elvis Presley. We love him. And this is a word for it, crow or something. I don't know. There's some word for it. I'm forgetting the word for it.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
I'm just not able to pronounce it right. All right. Take care. Love you
Bye.
all. Bye bye.